to Premier Championship Wrestling. It's our first live event of 2020. My name is Joe Dombrowski, joined by Benjamin C. Steele, back after a lengthy absence. BC, where you been? Why you back?
Well, I did a lot of charity work in Peru, in Kuala Lumpur, and in the Soviet Union.
Sure.
No, our name was Charity.
Not a charitable man at all coming to the ring. Former Premier Champion, longest reigning Premier Champion of all time, is here tonight in Premier at the behest of Calvin Couture at New Year's Revolution this afternoon. And Mathis has always been somebody that if somebody, be it a Chris LaRusso, a Calvin Couture, tells Mathis, I'd like you to go hurt somebody for me, you don't have to ask him twice. Ron Mathis is here on behalf of Calvin Couture. I can't imagine what that conversation sounded like, maybe a lot like this. But Mathis is here to try to eliminate Calvin's Andrew Palace problem.
Well, obviously we know Ron Mathis has had some Andrew Palace friction in the past. Ron Mathis, I'm sure that still sticks in his craw. That might stick in his craw forever, one might say.
I see what you did there.
Back on track in 2020. Also, thank you to Jay Worthington Farnsworth for filling in admirably, I might add.
I'm just happy he got escorted out of here. Let's have fun, BC!
Nice to see Andrew Palace tried to take out some small children in 2020. That's a reputable human being.
Spazmanian Devil went one-on-one with Calvin Couture a month ago, and we thought it would be Andrew Palace's attempt to finally pin Calvin after Calvin had pinned Palace, I believe, back in the month of May. Palace looking for some revenge, looking for some retribution, but Calvin, using a steel chair, got himself out of harm's way, and still to this day, Andrew Palace has never pinned Calvin in Premier.
Well, actually, when I was in Kuala Lumpur, we actually had a parade, and it was the Calvin Couture pinned Andrew Palace parade.
That's what you spent charity dollars on?
Yes, it was very, very detailed. Very specific, very, very niche market. Joe, who's the man?
Well, I think that's why we're going to have this wrestling match. We'll determine that question and answer. Mathis is no stranger to expressing his opinion boldly, let's say.
To say the least.
Angry at these kids.
You know, it's nice to know that no matter how much time I spend away from Premier, Ron Mathis never changes. He's always the same type of guy.
You mean never changes clothes? That might be true, too.
Well,
this could be bad. Okay, it won't be that bad. Oh no.
No, that's super nice.
Well, it's not quite as glamorous or sequined as Calvin would do it, but I guess it's Mathis' own attempt, isn't it? Oh no, Palace still hasn't seen it. Calvin pinned Andrew Palace, as if we haven't heard that phrase enough.
Well, I mean, it is equally as fashionable, and perhaps got a few fashionable tips. It's equally spaced. It's not like when you write a happy birthday sign.
Oh, well,
I wanted to hear where that was going.
You couldn't have guessed? Match is underway as Palace unloading on Ron Mathis one-on-one to kick us off. Two former Premier champions in the opening contest here at New Year's Revolution, and Mathis trying to play some head games.
Oh, he's got his fists up.
And paying homage to Calvin, and I'm not sure if he did either so far in a good way.
Oh, he was fists up and he got thrown down.
He absolutely did, and that's not going to end well for anybody. Palace takes the shirt off Mathis, and now heels him across the ring. That plan may have backfired for Mathis, wouldn't you say?
Well, that was a very expensive. That was a custom-made Ron Mathis t-shirt.
Yeah, that was $2.99. Look out, clothesline to the floor. Most expensive thing he was wearing. Had to buy the Sharpie to write it. There's a tope on the floor.
Exactly. The time, money, and effort that went into that.
And Palace is feeling good.
A good start to 2020 here with Ron Mathis and Andrew Palace.
Palace is pretty proud of himself, smile on his face, and Mathis, not so much.
I think he said his neck is back. Ron Mathis needs a moment.
Well, I mean, he's got 9 seconds tops if he can shake Palace, but easier said than done. Mathis caught Palace with a forearm as they entered to the apron area. Oh, gosh.
Calisthenics. You know, the Ron Mathis Calisthenics program, very, very popular as well in Guadalajara.
Mathis big on trash.
And jumping jack. Jumping jack trash.
Ouch.
Be the new moniker for Ron Mathis in 2020.
Hard knife edge chop. What does a win here do for Ron Mathis, do you think? Does it put him back in premier title contention?
I think it would have to. I think we would also move him up the rankings, if not number 1 contendership status.
Oh!
Well, that's going to move the vertebrae of Andrew Palace all over the place. Joe, who's the man?
Well, at the moment, Ron Mathis is looking pretty good, but the man would be Atticus Coker. He's the premier champion. Is that fair? Cover? You can't own it.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
Mathis would love to be the man again. He's been the man.
You know how long he would be the man?
Well, I'll let you answer first.
I think it would be forever.
All right, the Ethel Merman version of forever as Palace elevates Mathis. Mathis was champion 399 days cumulatively. That is a record. And after Palace had battled back-to-back body drop, it's Mathis gets the jawbreaker in. Palace set for the ride. Nice power slam. Great rotation by the white trash maniac who gets 2. Well, these fans certainly supporting Andrew Palace in his quest. You know, I have not seen Calvin Couture all day, BC. Do you have any hot news on where he might be?
Well, I actually heard from his doctor, Dr. Jack Kevarkian, that not that one, that he is suffering from acute streptococcus of the optical percipital tuberance, and he's taking antibiotics, and he is convalescing, and he is as fashionable as ever. And he's wearing his Calvin Couture Pin Andrew Palace t-shirt.
Palace turning things around in the corner. Is that a fancy medical way of saying Calvin's scared of Andrew Palace?
No, not whatsoever. He's never pinned he's never pinned Calvin Couture. Why would Calvin be afraid?
Palace got hung up on the top rope there. Well, you tell me, because Calvin needed a chair to get away from Palace a month ago.
Well, I mean, maybe as assistance.
Trash.
Call Calvin a name.
That's what Ron Mathis said, and I think it also correlates with your opinion.
Well, now I'm insulted. We're 1 match in, and I'm insulted.
We could do leave for 4 months again.
Maybe I will. A lot of charitable organizations that could use my time.
You know, follow-away slam, only if you take 90%. Palace is down now in a bad way. Mathis could pin Palace here. 2 count only.
How much rice you can buy with 10%?
And if Palace is beaten here, I feel like at that point maybe Calvin will hope to have Palace out of his hair forever.
Well, then we could have
no pun intended.
We could have a Ron Mathis pin Andrew Palace t-shirt. Imagine the
That was a roll-up. Wait a minute. And Mathis caught Palace with the hernia driver. Almost out of nowhere, Palace stacks him up and beats him. Palace pulling that win out of the jaws of defeat there. Mathis had this thing under control, it looked like, for a number of minutes, but Palace showed that resiliency, pulled out that hernia driver, and Ron Mathis has been downed. And you know Calvin Couture's going to see this. What do you think he's thinking?
Well, Calvin's not going to be very happy. I'm sure whatever he's battling right now is going to be made worse. We're going to obviously hear from Andrew Palace on his feelings.
So, it turns out that Calvin Couture is not here tonight.
He's on first.
Let me tell you. Calvin, is he going to be watching this? Is he going to be? Yeah, okay. Calvin, I want you one-on-one inside this ring. Hey, I want it so bad that I'm putting the ball in your court. Whatever you want. Any stipulation, any kind of match. I'll sign it. I'll sign it on the contract. I'm like, hey, me versus Calvin. Any stipulation. It's up to you, Calvin. Me versus you. Let's hit this.
I'm on board, BC Steel. If Andrew Palace wants to give Calvin Couture the power to pick any stipulation, let's do it. Let's settle this once and for all.
Yeah, putting the ball in the court of Andrew Palace putting the ball in the court of Calvin Couture might seem smart, but you got to give Calvin his due. He's going to have a plan.
You got to believe he will have a plan as we anxiously await the response of the fashionista, Calvin Couture.